So, great. So, Dr. Runge, we're talking about the Anodizing Council conference coming up in October. I know you've been. How long have you been a part of this? Putting this conference together. It's been many years, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. I started in 2008 after the San Francisco conference. I was recruited by the then the education chair, Dan Bishop. And Dan is now, as he was then, with Houghton, now Quaker Houghton. And I was promised then by Greg Reisky, who was president of the council at the time, that this was not onerous, and it was something that they thought was right in my wheelhouse.
Right.
and it is. I don't think I know anybody else in the industry who knows as many people as I do in
Right.
different areas and all over the world, from the anodizing plant all the way to the university level. And I'm a good fit for this job, but this is my last conference
Oh,
in
wow.
this
Okay.
capacity. Yeah,
Okay. Well, sorry to hear that, but it's been great.
yeah.
It's been,
Oh, I'm always going to be around to support, but
right.
to be actual education committee chair, it does take a lot of time and
Right.
energy. And I've got an awesome co-chair. George O has been my co-chair for, I want to say, around 5 years. And if I'm cheating him out of a year or two, I really want to say he's just been learning all the time, and he and I are a good team.
Right.
And so he'll be taking over from me as the chairman, and I'm sure he's already thinking about who he'd like for his co-chair.
Right.
So with that,
Yeah.
though, getting into what's coming up
Yeah, I
for
was going to
this
say
year's
this is this is a very interesting. Like I said, you got a very good lineup. You got a couple of courses there. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that because I kind of want to know, and tell us a little bit about the two courses and what's new and different with them. Let's start with the essentials course. I mean, I think that's something that really any shop out there should pay close attention to, that they can send their personnel to this. It's always got great ideas and great teachers. Tell us about that course first of all, if we could.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anodizing Essentials is a comprehensive, step-by-step
Hmm.
class that takes, I want to, maybe I should call it a course,
Hmm.
and individual classes that take the students step by step through the process. This goes from an overview
Hmm.
and video of the entire anodizing process
Right.
that was provided to us by A&D Prevost in Montreal, Canada.
Hmm.
Actually takes you step by step from racking and
Hmm.
cleaning through each step. And believe me, this is exactly what we do when we're
Right.
teaching this class. Is we start with the anode. We do a really nice treatment of aluminum metallurgy. Not, not a great or daunting deep dive, but it gives the students an idea of
Hmm.
what the designations mean for each alloy,
Right. Hmm.
what the alloying elements impact are on how the oxide grows,
Hmm.
and talks about the different steps in preparing the anode for its deformation, from
Hmm.
casting through deformation
Right.
processing.
Hmm.
So when we have years where we are co-chaired with the extruders, this is all tailored towards extrusions. This year, it's soup to nuts. We're looking at castings. We're looking at forgings, extrusions, and I think this is really good because it's germane to the result one gets when they're actually driving current
Right.
through an anode
Right.
to grow an oxide. We have then every step represented. We have a wonderful talk on racking. And from there we go, and that's with Ed Burlingame and Terry Cisnewski, and at Burlingham and Terry Cisnewski. And then from racking to power, from American Plating Power, to all of the pre-treatment that goes into the process, cleaning, rinsing. We've got an awesome rinsing class because I would say when you give anodizing an overview, there are a lot of nice little processes in there, and rinsing is probably the most important.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would say rinsing is the most important.
Definitely.
From rinsing, I teach anodizing. They're not going to get rid of me as a faculty member as long as
which is what you really love to do, right? You really love to teach with that. Yeah, right.
Like to teach. So I'm hoping they'll keep me on the faculty. Then into post treatment after anodizing. So it's dyeing, electrocolor, seal, and it's and rinsing.
Right.
So it's a great comprehensive class. It used to be years ago called Anodizing A to Z, and it was taught by one man. It was taught by Richard Mann. He did a tremendous job, but by having experts from every step of the process as faculty members, I think the students get a more well-rounded approach to the process. There is always time for questions. And if there isn't enough, at the end of a segment, we have breaks where we can really do a lot more intensive Q&A. It's a great class, and because of its all-encompassing content, we do offer this every year at every conference. And we are also going to be presenting this particular class at ET next April.
Gotcha. You know what I think is so great about this? It's like you said, I'm sure, some of the attendees, especially shops who have hired somebody to come in and help with their anodizing, and they've either, been trained by somebody else in the shop or, maybe a supplier has helped out a little bit. But it really, I think, gives these people a much wider view and a deeper view of what it is they're doing, best practices. But it also, I'm sure, like you said, with some of the instructors, is gives them a very good, some good resources to call in later, right? I mean, and it's all about, and I'm sure, you and I have talked about it before. It's all about the people you meet who can help you down the road in what you're doing. And so it sounds like really something that a lot of shops should look at about even, if they've hired somebody on their staff and they've been there for a while. Still, I think it's great to send to this class just to really, get to know people and to hear. I always like hearing other people's questions a lot of times, right? I mean,
Me too.
Hear what they ask, what problems they're having, because eventually you're going to have the same problems, right? So it's really good that way.
It's not a very nice thing to say, but it's nice to learn from somebody else's problems.
Right.
And it's something that's really true. I want to say this about the class, and I really think it's a positive thing. And you pushed the little cell in my brain that made me think this when you were talking about how shop employees, they learn their processes at their plant, and they get support from their chemical suppliers. And this is something that is really a basic thing about this class. We're not there to teach you what to do on your line.
Right.
We're here to tell you what happens when you do things.
Right. Exactly.
And it is such a, otherwise, why else would we exist?
Right.
Because then the suppliers would be able to do the job and do it as well as they do it now.
Right.
But having a group of people taking you through the process and saying, what happens when you are removing all of the perfumes from production that preceded anodizing? What are you doing? Why do you have to rinse? Why is it most important?
Right.
What happens when you are pushing current through that anode? And what happens when that occurs? How do you end up with this perfectly ordered oxide? Why does it spontaneously form? And so it's, I think, a real asset to the
Right.
industry.
Which really they can take this back to their shop and and really
Absolutely.
and I think, like I said, for a lot of shop owners who I've talked to, they want to send their people to places to learn and again network a little bit, find resources and things such as that. And I think it helps in the long run, and it really helps that employee, I think, feel more involved in their company and their industry when they're going to a course like this or a class like this with that. Now, getting on to the advanced anodizing, I'll jump ahead to that for a bit. Do you see a lot of people who were in those essentials come back to the advanced? And let's talk about the advanced for a bit with that. So,
advanced anodizing has it's my brainchild because we since I took over as an education chair, we as the education committee, we developed 2 more classes in the school for anodizers, and the second one is the level 2 quality workshop, and that is exactly what it sounds. It's a workshop. People come with their problems. We talk about, again, some anodizing basics, some metallurgy basics, but people bring parts, people bring their ideas and their problems, and they get to sit down and have pretty involved conversations with various faculty, and it's again a really great thing. We developed that, and the level 3 class, the advanced anodizing, came around because we don't really do a deep dive into what are the actual reactions that happen during pre-treatment. We don't talk about the chemistry of pre-treatment in anodizing essentials. We don't talk about anodizing for design and function. We simply don't have the time to do that in essentials. And similarly with post-treatment, the chemistry, the reactions that occur during dyeing and sealing. And then the challenges that happen when you've got a more complex alloy. Right. And how to meet them with different types of ways to apply the current to the anode. We have Jeff Almeida from Aerotech Processing, who is a mentee of Fred Scheidel, and takes those processes and makes really impossible things happen with the most difficult alloys. So this became a class, I want to say, 10, 12 years ago. And we've offered it maybe in those 10, 12 years, maybe 4 times. And the last time we offered advanced anodizing was 3 years ago in Washington, when the conference was in Washington State. And so this year it is a brand new a brand new course. We have really gotten into the fundamentals of what happens during pretreatment. The chemistry of pretreatment is presented by Giorgio from Quaker Houghton. I'm presenting Anodizing for Design and Function and strategies for anodizing complex alloys. I let the nitty-gritty, deeper dive to Jeff because he is just the world's expert in doing that type of anodizing with the hardest alloys, the 2000 series, the 7000, and then these specialty alloys like the rapidly solidified metals that have nano-sized grains and grain boundary densities that just inhibit oxide growth from beginning to end. And Pinak and Patel is finishing with the actual chemistry of post-treatment, the chemistry of dyeing, the reactions that happen on that pore level, and then the sealing reactions, the reductive dissolution of that surface to actually make the oxide have the most outstanding corrosion resistance while maintaining other mechanical properties like wear resistance. So I'm excited, really excited about this class because I've been sitting at my desk here for the last weeks, just in addition to revising the talks for essentials, which I do every year anyway, making this new class happen. It's just a great thing, and I'm very, very excited to be able to present it, and look forward to doing it again.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it sounds very, very exciting. Like I said, for people who are, in the industry, that this is a really the way to hear some of the foremost experts and really meet them and again, network with them and get to know them as a resource. So, because as it is, and you've worked in shops before in your life where every day is a challenge. Every day, like you said, another problem could come up where you really time is of the essence to really try to work and solve those, and really, like I said, talk to these subject matter experts who are really, who do this every day and have the answers to that. So that, it does sound very exciting. And like I said, shops, and like I said, they can go in line to the AAC website, which we'll have on here, that people can register for it.
There's one other thing I want to, that has nothing to do about class content, but everything to do with about class schedule. It was decided with a directive from the board of directors for the council that we're trying to increase attendance, and we always have fabulous attendance at Essentials, but we want even more. And as greedy as it sounds, I think we have so much to offer. And so what we did was, instead of starting early on Monday morning, which would mean people have to spend the night on Sunday night, we're starting the classes midday on Monday.
Yeah.
We're providing
Great idea.
Yeah, providing lunch, start discussions over lunch, and then teaching halfway, teaching all the way up to and including pre-treatment and rinsing, and then having the evening off gives you time to think, get your head around all the content that's been presented. And then we're starting up again Monday morning with anodizing and going all the way through post-treatment, and a nice Q&A. We've pretty much covered it all by that time, and we have a good hour and a half prior to when advanced anodizing is going to start. And there's going to be a moment where we again start with lunch, get those creative juices flowing, get the discussions happening, and from there, having advanced until the early evening, like I think 6 o'clock, where we begin the conference actually with the first networking event of the evening.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It does seem like a very good schedule for people who can come in Monday. And like I said, come in Monday morning, get set up. And then, like I said, it starts Monday afternoon. And then, like you said, continues Tuesday morning and then goes right into the essentials. And then, like you mentioned, the networking, which I think is always the industry networking is a great idea with that as well. And then, so that'd be October. Yeah, that's the 5th and the 6th. I believe those are going to be.
Correct.
And then the full conference begins, right? And I know that you've got a lot of great speakers who are going to be talking about a wide topic of things. And I know, we're going to be running that as well, the names of everybody there. But really, I mean, it's really, I know that you're very discerning about who you're going to get to come and talk and present information. And it's all, every topic I saw was just very interesting. And I think going to be very helpful to people to listen through with those.
I think so too. I think one of the variations on this year's conference is that every session, whether a general session with the entire delegation or the focus sessions on Wednesday afternoon, every session is ending with a panel discussion. And this panel discussion has taken shape in a couple different ways. On Wednesday morning, we're having a Young Anodizers panel where we've recruited different young anodizers, all pretty much under the age of 40 or around 40, to talk to us about what brought them to the industry, what convoluted way, because I guarantee you, Tim, nobody ever starts their career by saying, I'm going to be an anodizer when I grow up.
Exactly.
So, so we've got all these interesting backstories, I hope, coming up and sharing with us what made them stay. I mean, face it, it's an aging industry. We have to see what our young workforce is finding in our industry so that other people can be encouraged to become part of it. And so this is that particular goal on Wednesday morning. We have 3 focus sessions. They are a more fundamental session, a current landscape, and then deeper dives. Current landscape, we usually have that every year, and we've always couched it under technical. This is the technical session. So all of these sessions are ending with a panel, and the deeper dive, because we have a lot of university faculty present at this year's conference, which we're really pleased about. We've sometimes get pushback on that from our board of directors, and this year they were really open to see what develops from this, and we're optimistic. We hope we're going to see a real good turnout because of this. That particular focus session, and I'm so pumped about this, really, is that I've asked the university professors to be on the panel, but I've invited different industry people to come and meet with them and sort of have not a Family Feud or a Jerry Springer or something like that, but to have a discussion truly. Where else but at the AAC are you going to have the opportunity to say, as an anodizer, I wish my young people would come in with this basic knowledge.
Right.
Is that possible? Can you teach this? This, if I could pick any class in the world that I would like my new recruit to come in with, this is the class I want it to be.
Right.
And the faculty the university faculty has to have their ears open and has to have the sensibility there, because research is awesome.
Right.
But not too many job shops are running sensors, or running specialty sensors, and not too many are running things that are for square wave guides. I'm thinking
Right.
of things that are done. They
Right.
sure are done. They sure are anodized, but most of the industry doesn't do things like that. We need to get people coming out of schools, understanding which way the current runs.
Right.
Things like that. So I'm super excited about that, because we're looking. We've invited people from major companies to participate, and are having pretty good feedback. And one of the people participating is Jeff Almeida. So we're looking forward to the conference in a big way. We've got instead of having a drawing for a pair of headphones or a TV or something like that, this year the prizes are for free conference next year.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
A free class next year.
Right. Well, it's one thing I've always told people is, if this is your industry, if this is what you wake up every morning and go to work and invest yourself in every time, whether you're a general manager, a president, owner, if you're running the lines, this is where you need to take a couple days out of the year and really attend. You will, I've told many people, you're going to walk away with many nuggets of information that you can take back to really improve your operation, but then again, also, just meeting other people in the industry, because I know a lot of people in shops don't get out that much. They just go to
That's
work
true.
and they're there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To get out and to hear other people talk about it, and it really invigorates them some. But if this is your industry, if this is what you do, this is how you earn your money, or your company earns it, this is where you really should be, to really to spend the time and learn about where things are headed. Get some experts who can help you. That's what I was telling them. These people are there to help you. And who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want somebody that can be a resource to them with that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, like I said, I'm excited to be there, and to see everybody. The courses, I think, are just right on. They're dead on of what I think people want to hear and see. And then, like I said, other than that, you get the tracks, the show, you get to talk to a lot of vendors, people that you may not have known. Again, who you can get up. It's not a huge show. I tell people it's kind of a very small, compact little show where you can, you have the chance to really have good conversations with people with that. So
I think that's really one of the best parts about it. We're maybe 220 people, 250, and it's a great place. Like I said, just having that time when you're in a session and you're hearing somebody deliver a talk that hits you where you live. You at least I know I do. I ruminate on it. I think about it. And if I'm in that expo and the networking event, and I see that person walking across the floor, I say, wait, hold on. I loved your talk. I want to know more.
Have a conversation. Yeah, that's the best part. Where in some shows you can't, but there's so many people and there's hustle and bustle, and they go into the next one so quickly. This is where you can have a good conversation with somebody afterwards, and really have that talk and that discussion, and also just get to know the person, and like I said, jot their name down, they'll jot yours, and you've got a friend for life in
Yeah.
that, a resource that you can really rely on if situations come up in your shop. It really is. And like I said, yeah, by the time, I think, like I said, when we get this out, it will probably be just over a month before then, so there's still plenty of time for people to register and get to the show. It's in Cincinnati, which is pretty close to everybody, a majority of the country, that they can kind of get to it, and such. But yeah, but it's a shame you're not going to be, like I said, running it going forward with that. But I think you all, over the years, you and your committee members have really put a great foundation in, of doing it in a very high level way, but also really in an informative way, and an interesting way, and a teaching way. I think that's the best thing, I think, out of this show of
Thanks,
all.
Tim. And
Yeah.
I really, that was always the intention. And and it's not like I'm leaving the industry by any
Right.
stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll continue to teach as long as they want me around. It's a lot of work, and I think it's time not to have that pressure. I'll take other pressure,
Right.
and I'm always there as a resource.
Right.
That's one thing for
That's
sure.
that's great. Well, I appreciate it. Dr. Runge, I appreciate it. Again, we'll see you in Cincinnati. Starts October 5th and runs that week. But I appreciate you taking time out very much. So,
Oh, you're so welcome, Tim, and I'm looking forward to seeing you too. Okay.
okay.
Take it
All
easy.